watch that. Watch this. This is the heavy, heavy monster sound. The nastiest sound around. So if you're coming off the street and you're beginning to feel the heat, well listen, Buster. You'd better start to move your feet to the rockinest, rocksteady beat of RC and Muse. We're going off!
I just gotta give you a quick follow-up from last week because I failed to do the research when we were talking about the Ninja Turtles. I looked over a vital detail. As influential and memorable the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade game is that would eventually become Turtles in Time, the eye-catch screen, where it's a little demo, insert your coins now, the thing that's supposed to get your attention, they're playing fucking Pizza Power.
Pizza Power, applying sauce and food delight. Pizza Power, all that's what makes us feel alright.
A song we didn't even talk about. One thing that I wrote down that I forgot to mention in our review. So, Pizza Hut sponsored the whole thing. Pizza Hut, you can get the tapes, you can get the VHS, all of this. They don't name drop Pizza Hut in the Pizza Power song?
Just go for the gusto. Yeah, you're already paying for it. Might as well get your name in there.
The biggest missed opportunity. I cut it out of the final edit of the podcast because I was wrong, and I did some research while I was editing. I was trying to make a point in how it's the Ninja Turtles, they've got a badass theme song, why wouldn't you feature the Ninja Turtles theme song? It could be a licensing issue, maybe they didn't have the rights to it for whatever reason, but I remembered that Power Rangers did live-action shows, and Pokemon did live-action shows, and they both have badass theme songs too, so I was like, well, those live shows have to include the theme songs. Neither of them did. The Pokemon stage show is essentially like the Ninja Turtles one, where all the songs are, listen to your heart, do what's true. All those fucking nonsense, empty lyrics. It's basically the same thing. The Power Rangers show, however, they don't do songs. They just have a lot of fight scenes. And the music is essentially the music that plays during the fight scenes during the show.
I would take that. Like a choreography show that's just got some fucking blazing ass guitar solos. I'm here for that. I wasn't here for that Pokemon stage show. I remember when I was a kid, I like everything Pokemon, so of course I want to see that and having that feeling of oh, I'm missing out if I don't see that. And then I remember seeing a little piece of the actual thing, and then a little more being I don't think I'm getting FOMO here. I don't think I've got the fear of missing out on this one.
No, just corny as hell. I think I'm good just watching the cartoon.
Professor Oak might be his dad. What?
Oh.
So either Professor Oak or the main bad guy.
Oh, Giovanni.
Giovanni, yeah. It's why would you even introduce that? That's not...
I don't understand cryptocurrency at all. But I'm looking at this headline.
Oh, the thing about Kings of Leon?
Kings of Leon will be the first band to release an album as a NFT, which stands for non-fungible token, becoming the first band to ever do so.
Is this like a U2 thing where it's hey, look, that band that a lot of people liked from a couple of years ago is doing something with technology. That should be a pretty big fucking deal for rock music, huh? Please care about this rock musician's album.
The band is actually dropping 3 types of tokens as part of a series. People involved with the project tell Rolling Stone. One type is a special album package, while the other type is live show perks like front row seats.
Wait. Is the album only available, in a coin form? You have to get, a certain fucking program in order to decode the thing and fucking play the album? If it's like that, then I'm okay, that's pretty gutsy. Did, Mega Man do some shit where it's just oh, I released an album that's only on, N64 cartridges or something like that? Where it's
oh, yeah.
All right, that's an idea.
Worry not, fans of Kings of Leon. The album will be released.
Explain it.
The album will be released everywhere on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Amazon. But the special limited edition with the perks is the cryptocurrency edition. So if you're a layman, if you're a pleb who just wants the album and nothing more, you could just go to iTunes like regular. I just saw this paragraph here. NFTs previously had a relatively underground following made up of DJs and producers, I believe it. But these digital tokens have gone mainstream in the last year as many musicians sought out additional revenue streams in the concertless era of the pandemic. The likes of Portugal the Man, friends of the podcast, Shawn Mendes, Grimes, and Linkin Park's Mike Shinoda have gotten on board in recent weeks. So this is the wave of the future, Darren! Cutting edge!
Dude, I don't even know how Bitcoin shit works. Like, I'm just gonna admit my ignorance. Maybe I'm the only motherfucker who doesn't know. I just didn't click on that link when that went out on the internet. I don't fucking know. I just don't know how the shit works. It's just like, oh, so with currency over here is like, when you make it digital, so it's like a farm that reproduces the. You lost me. Give me a country that has currency already in it, and I'll work from there. Okay, I don't want to do this extra shit, because then as soon as I fucking get into it, the goddamn rug's gonna be pulled out. It's gonna be like, actually, this was illegal all along, and everyone's going to jail.
Here's the part of the show where I want to discuss it slightly, but I realize that if I do, the comment section is going to be nothing but people trying to educate us on cryptocurrency, and I don't care that much, so...
I don't want to...
Not right now.
I don't want to do it.
It doesn't feel like the appropriate avenue for it, I'll just say that. So let's quickly run over here and talk about the first album of the week. It is Most Tasteless, no space in between the words.
Or most tasteless, or most tasteless.
Most Tasteless, requested by Melvin Sheeman. Yeah. And if you want to request an album to be reviewed on the show, head on over to our Ko-fi, that is ko-fi.com/going-off. Limited spaces are still available. I've never listened to Twiztid before. My impression of Twiztid was always they were the, we've got ICP at home.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Where it's kind of bootleg.
Diet ICP, like, even, like, their face paint thing is just like an all-white thing. It's not really like a clown per se, like, if you really wanted to go, you could say maybe like it's like a mime thing, Psychopathic has a whole lineup of different characters and stuff like that. So you've got killer clowns, you've got whatever Twiztid are, you've got a rapping scarecrow, you've got a literal zombie who's actually featured on this album, Blaze You Dead Homie. You've got Axe Murder Boys, who I believe are Native American. So it really is like a wrestling fed, where you've got all these different gimmicks all running around, and since ICP are big into wrestling, it kind of makes sense. Yeah, but the issue is, all they talk about is the same shit about just killing people and shit. It's just like, okay, how many times can you just make this song over and over again? And the thing about it with ICP is, they're ridiculous and over the top, and, like, don't take themselves seriously. And sometimes that can be, like, too much, but at least it's a personality. With this is, like, toned down Insane Clown Posse. Like, all the kill, murder shit and the hip-hop, sampling shit, but, like, without the goofiness. And so that makes it even more, like, kind of unnotable in that respect.
I'm gonna put it to you like this. I think it's a good give and take of specific ICP aspects, where one thing I really do enjoy about ICP is their humor, their kind of, like, random references they'll make, the absurd imagery they'll paint up, the kind of otherworldly stuff they'll bring to the table. Again, wrestling references at the wazoo usually, so I appreciate that. You don't really get that with Twiztid, but Twiztid brings... what's the word I'm looking for here? I don't want to say legitimacy, but that's the word that comes to mind. Like, I think Twiztid is a more easily accepted, more kind of mainstream approach The ICP, like, it's more Eminem than ICP.
Like, I could imagine these guys actually having a legitimate hit, like, in that late 90s new metal period of, like,
Yeah.
okay, this would fit in with everything else, because it sounds like hip-hop, but they're not, being absolutely wackadoo and talking about, I'll spin your head in that. Like, they don't do a bunch of onomatopoeias and super wacky shit. They still say, like, weird shit, but it's not as wackadoo as... Violent J and Shaggy do. And in fact, it's like kind of really laid bare their differences on one of the tracks on here, where it was like him, like it was Twiztid, and then there was like a Latino rapper, and then you hear Insane Clown Posse's flows, and you're like, oh wow, this is what the difference between them is. Like, they just do a whole bunch of silly, wacky shit and ideas they were thinking of, but like it Twiztid sounds like they actually like wrote down verses. You know what I mean?
The absolute worst song on the album, in my opinion, is She Ain't Afraid.
Oh,
it's their 6-minute long jokeless sex song that starts with a full minute of porn dialogue.
Here's the thing, because we gotta do the runner that comes into this song, right? Because what comes before this song is like this semi-interesting song called How Does It Feel, which has like this like really heavy like bend in the beat, like this really stomping drum line. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Like, I'm actually like feeling the shit. Like, they've been doing a lot of horrorcore shit, and it's like, yeah, it's either hit or miss, but this actually feels like it has like the sort of like driving thing, like, oh, this actually sounds like this could be on like a soundtrack for a Rob Zombie movie or something like that. You know what I mean?
How Does It Feel kicks ass and might be the best song on the album, which makes it so funny that it's right before the worst one.
Yeah. And so, like, we're getting to, like, the last verse on the song, and he's saying shit like, we're going hunting vampires with a 9mm, our soul's blessed by Mary Magdalene and St. Peter, eat a bit of flesh, but I call it the host, am I dead alive or just a ghost? And you're like, oh, what the fuck, where are they going? I'm hoping, picture insanity, but I'm not feeling so sane, got a migraine headache, my stomach hurt, and then, like, you just get the sharpest needle scratch. And it just, like, cuts intensely. I'm like, oh, God, what's going to happen next? He's saying my stomach hurts. Like, oh, is the beast coming out? Is something intense going to happen? No, it just sharply cuts to, like you said, the porn skit. Where it's like, oh, yeah, I'm trying to get some ass. Yeah, and it goes like, oh, I like getting my face fucked. And yeah, who wants to tap my ass? And just the most sleazy sounding skit. I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing? What is this? What's happening? And yet it gets a song and She Ain't Afraid. The very first lyrics are like, let's get high and just fuck. I hit you till you bleed. And we can just blame it on the weed, little freak. Oh, no. What's happening? I don't want to hear that.
Where's the fucking creativity I've heard on the album up to this point? They just Are Juggalos this hard up for baby bacon music?
Right, like
that this will fucking pass. Like, does this get put on?
There's one point in the song where he kind of like does the like, oh, turn the lights down. No, I'm turning into Mac mode. But it's just like even as a joke, it's just like there's no jokes in it, so it doesn't even work as like when they're that Insane Clown Posse song where it's just like another love song where it's like, bitch, I'm knocking at your door, let me get some no. Like, it's at least like over the top enough where it's just like, okay, this isn't actually trying to seduce a chick. But like in the lyrics right before he starts, he's like, oh, I'm actually about to switch into my Mac shit. I was like, oh, are you really? Is this Mackin'?
Which brings me to my next point. Neddin, right?
Yeah.
So, ICP's go-to slang is Neddin. And I always thought that was kind of silly. That was before I heard She Ain't Afraid, and I heard what Twiztid's take on that was. Pink fun.
Pink fun! It came up twice, and I was like, wait, is that his word for it? Yeah! Let me get inside your pink fun. Like,
it's been a long time, Darren, but I think we finally have a rival for that pink.
That pink?
Fucking pink fun! Okay.
Did I ever tell you? I used to joke with my friends, and we'd be. I don't remember why I said it. It was something about someone being interrupted, and like they were going to say like that pink pussy or something like that, and you're like, you're trying to get some of that pink, and then he like gets punched before he can say it, you know?
Oh, that pink.
You tried to get some of that pink pow. But then it just became a thing where I'd be like, I know what you're doing. You're going over to that house to get some of that pink.
What I also just realized is that not only does How Does It Feel come before one of the worst tracks, it also comes after one of the worst tracks in Meat Cleaver. Meat Cleaver is the track you were talking about before, with Misery rapping way too fast for the beat, and it didn't sound right. And ICP bringing their, dare I say, D material, where they realized this ain't worth it and didn't even fucking try. That fucking guest verse was goddamn trash.
I don't know what the fuck. Like, the Latino dude at least kind of got interesting halfway through when he started throwing Spanish in, and I was like, oh, what's happening?
The other track I gave a really low rating to, which won't be a surprise, is Murder, 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 the third actual song. I'm skipping the skits, because they're not skits. It just...
What the fuck was that intro where it was like, Twiztid!
Look.
People being killed!
Ah!
What the fuck?
This fucking haunted house sound effects soundtrack
Sampler
disc.
kit. Yeah!
I'm going to fucking Scarowinds. What's this? Ah! Oh no!
And the thing is, they're not even like that guys like that. They're not even on that insane cloud over the top level. So I was like, where is this coming from?
What's so funny is that, yeah, the intro really set my expectations, like, into the fucking dirt. But then Secondhand Smoke and Die Motherfucker Die, I was like, okay, I wasn't going to expect these, but these actually aren't fucking bad. Like,
there were some cool sample flips, like the what was the one? Free Your Mind and Secondhand Smoke. That was like
Secondhand Smoke.
Yeah, that was weirdly unexpected, but they kind of put like a little filter on it, made it sound really smoky. I was like, okay, I see where you're going for here, you know?
They got some really good production on this album. The fucking beat and the sample in Die Motherfucker Die is really dope too.
Mm-hmm.
Besides the, I'll just go ahead and say it, random as fuck homophobia in Die Motherfucker Die from Madrox.
Fucking nowhere.
It comes out of nowhere. Right after that though, I think this might be the only section I quoted on the album, but yeah, I just wanted to read this off because I was surprised by this. The president is prejudiced against you and me, and he taking half our money, and he chilling tax-free. And if you ask me, that's another smack in the face. We need to burn the White House and piss in his face, and every judge should do a minimum of 20 to life. If they can dish it, they can take it. Tell me that ain't right. And every cop should be beat like Rodney King, non-stop from the summer till the turn of spring. Shove a donut in their mouth and a badge in their ass, cause the pig get no class, they get their wig split. I was like, holy shit! What the fuck?
Fucking class revolutionary warfare on the behalf of the clowns.
I was not fucking expecting that shit. That came out of nowhere, but I was absolutely for that. God damn. We do got to address the elephant in the room.
Yes, namely the fact that these are white rappers who ain't afraid to use the N-word.
Oh, you can't tell them what to say.
At least they didn't jump out the gate with it, you know? Like, they didn't do, like, the first verse, like, yo, what's up, man? You know what I mean? Like, they buried it deep where it was just like, oh, I just say it like everyday word. What? Like, I'm saying motherfucker and bitch. What? Like,
I think they say it in just about every song, which is amazing. Especially because ICP have made it a point to
even on
use
this album,
the phrase...
they don't say it.
To say ninja instead.
Yes,
that's their word. So they went ahead and specifically have a designated word to say instead. And Twiztid were like, no thanks.
No, because we're down with the culture, you know, and the N-word's part of the culture.
I don't know, man. Apparently, they slipped Violent J a demo of 3 cuts. And I don't think any of the 3 cuts have the N-word in them, which is telling.
Huh.
And on the song where they have ICP on as featured guests, they don't say it.
Huh.
And also the track with Blaze Ya Dead Homie, who I think is black. I don't think they say it there either, which tells me they know it's weird.
Yeah, right?
Or they would just say it and be like, yeah, what of it? But apparently, they realize it's kind of fucked up, so they know when to not. So which is weird. They know when to dial that back, I guess.
Yeah.
But speaking of ICP, we gotta talk about one of the ballsiest moves on this fucking album.
Oh, which track?
They do a cover of First Day Out, which is a track from ICP's first album from 1992, Carnival of Carnage.
Huh.
And dare I say, because I went back and listened to it afterwards, they fucking killed it. Like, they took the skeleton of the original that had, for 92, if you've heard ICP's first album, the production is it's a little jank. Yeah.
It's podunk.
It's got more modern ICP production on it, and they took the lyrics, made some noticeable improvements, bumped up a lot of the lines, made them funnier, and really did make a whole new song out of it. The whole basic concept is the same. I'm out of jail. I call my friend looking for a girl to fuck for the night. She takes me home. I meet her parents. I steal the dad's car. We're fucking. That's basically the song, and it's the same here. But a lot of the parts where ICP kind of fall back and it's a little lazy, they'll actually kind of fill it in with more lyrics and more funny joke lines, and came out to be, I thought, one of the best tracks on the album. Between First Day Out and How Does It Feel? Those got the two highest ratings for me.
Yeah, how does it go into that one? I just absolutely hated the ending hook where it's just like, first day out and I got my nuts.
Yeah.
It sounds specifically like Violent J. It sounds like he's in the middle of jacking off with how intensely he's saying, like, first day out and I got my nuts. It's like, stop. Oh my god, why did that have to be the thing you guys landed on?
I do hate that. And I hate that they carried that over from the original. They probably should have just got rid of that.
Yeah, and they have a couple of storytelling horrorcore tracks on here, right? Like that one and the one before, Murder, where it's like, oh, I got my knife out of my belt and I jabbed it in her stomach again and again, and now she's screaming like I care, but at the end, it's about him killing his daughter or something like that, and it's like, whoa, what the fuck?
What's so weird about Murder is apparently Twiztid were in a group before in the early 90s around the same time ICP started. And this track was a holdover from, I want to say, 93? Because the producer is listed as being a member of that group. And they thought it was just so good that they needed to include it on this album. And I don't think they should have, because it's not very good. It's the only song that's explicitly really super uber violent. They don't really go nearly that hard for the whole rest of the album.
It threw me off because honestly, they sampled Method Man at the beginning, the murder, and what it made me think of was the song, is it Serial Killer? By Method Man and Redman that they did, Method Man and Redman are the more, clearly more comical, jokey guys that just talk about weed, but they did a serial killer song, and it was actually really fucking good and really funny, because there was a part where he goes, he talks about running into someone's house and starts blasting off a gun, but then, you see a bunch of people turn around and go, happy birthday, oh. And so the joke is that he, fucked up a fucking surprise birthday party. That's a good fucking verse. And so just hearing this immediately making me think of oh, whoa, we're gonna be doing talking about real intense murder, and then for what this turned out as, it was just kind of all right, it's just about killing specifically a woman, but what is it? It wasn't a particularly interesting story, beside for the fact of the twist at the end of the first verse of oh, he killed his daughter. Whoa, okay, that was unexpected, I guess.
Yeah, it was specifically oh, my wife cheated on me, so I'm gonna kill her, and I'm gonna kill the guy she cheated on me with, and I'm gonna kill their dog too, apparently, and then I'm gonna then I'm gonna kill the kid. And I was like, all right, we've heard this one before. Like,
Ooh, you don't give a fuck, you know?
Ooh, it's like I've heard Eminem do this basically over 3 different cuts, and they're better songs than this.
The songs that I like the most are, like we said, How Does It Feel, because of the beat. And I gotta say, $85 an hour made me laugh a lot.
I was just about to ask you about $85 an hour. That was the only song I had heard before listening to this album because it was on some compilation albums, and I was like, holy shit, $85 an hour is on this? Oh, cool. Yeah, I do like that one.
Because they're so clearly freestyling.
They're just fucking around. Yeah.
Yeah. And it catches you off guard, and it's like, you're making me laugh right now. This is the ICP that I like, you know? Like, you know, it doesn't have to be the greatest thing in the world, but, like, just catch me off guard with some weird shit, and I'm fine, you know?
You might say my vocals are up too loud, so I'm gonna turn them up loud and I'll piss you off!
What was the first lyric? He's like, I'm Violent J, but my homies call me shithead. But that's my homies. To you, it's Violent J, bitch. I put my boys on the track, even though they suck.
Yo, dog, I'm Dave, and I don't give a fuck.
Renditions of Reality was alright. I do kind of wish they would have ended on $85 an hour, though.
Yes, because that song actually, like, plays to the strengths of how ridiculous they are, but then to end it on, no, we're making a serious song now about how I have, you know, there's turmoil in my life, you know, I'm a troubled man. And then it, like, cuts out for about 5 minutes to silence.
Oh, you got a bonus cut. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And, you know, I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed, like, the first couple of seconds just with how Violet J comes in with, like, since you're too fucking lazy to turn this shit off, we're gonna give you another fucking thing to think about. And I was like, okay, that was kind of funny. But the fucking story that he tells is so dumb. And it was just like, as soon as I start listening to, well, this motherfucker had a huge ball bag, and him and his friends would smoke weed and jump on the ball bag, and his pants split, and he found out his friend had 2 anuses. They're like, I don't fucking care. What is this? Like, it's so puerile and fucking immature. It's like, who the fuck is laughing at this, you know? So-and-so had 2 ball sacks, and he had 8:30 when he got his call, and it was just like, this doesn't mean anything to me.
I walked away giving this a 3. How about you?
I gave it a 2. I can enjoy horrorcore. I can enjoy it, but you have to be doing something, or else it's just like, okay, yeah, sure, it's different from just talking about flashy chains and flashy cars, but it's still the same vein of it's only one note for so long without any variation to really make it pop out and stand out, you know, from track to track. You know what I'm saying?
Up next, we've got Late Registration by Kanye West, requested by D'Angelo.
That's right.
This is, the 4th or 5th Kanye album we reviewed on the show. We're about halfway through the discography at this point, I want to say.
Yeah,
and this time, we're going all the way back to the 2nd album, Late Registration, the breakout hit, Gold Digger. You know it, you love it. I'd never listened to this album the whole way through. I'm just going to go ahead and say that. So this was my my first time with this one. Man, I think this is kind of a misstep for Kanye.
Oh, no, you weren't feeling it.
It's got its moments.
I got to say to Nano, my brother, at least for the most part anyway, I think, like, a lot of this was, like, caught me off guard with how surprisingly solid it still, like, was after all these years. Like, the way he transforms the samples and uses them for the beat, it was just, like, I was really kind of going like, yo, he's really doing some shit here. Like, and just the fact that, like, the first 3 tracks were, like, all hit songs. Like, I had forgotten, like, the very first track was Heard Him Say, and that just caught me off guard because that was one of my fucking favorite Kanye West songs from just how, like, from how sweet and just, like, comforting the beat sounds, you know what I'm saying? Like, with the little flute in there, that little toy box flute always touches my goddamn soul, you know what I mean? And so I was like, this isn't fair, this is track 1, hold on, I love this song.
I think it's so funny. We start with
Wake Up Mr. White by the incomparable Bernie Mac, rest in peace. You stole in my class, what you doing, boy?
And then we go into Heard Him Say. I thought to myself, this isn't the kind of tone I'd expect the album to start with, just from, like, the other albums I'd listened to, but I really do love that song. I think it's great. The beat and the piano sample, and even Adam Levine on the hook sounds great.
Right? The only song where I'm like, I like this person's voice.
It was a real solid, sweet as hell groove. And then it just hits with Touch the Sky. I'm like, that's what I was expecting.
Right? I was like, okay.
The way it fucking does it, too, is like, gotcha. But I was like, oh, okay, holy shit.
And it's one of those things where it's like, when you listen to the original song that sampled where it came from, like,
Oh, yeah.
the song is so goddamn fast, it's like, oh my god, like, I'd have a heart attack trying to dance to this shit. So, like...
Slows it down a good bit, yeah.
Yeah, and you can feel the grandness of the trumpet part, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Fucking
it's
hell.
so cool. And it's like, the song's all about, like, you know, his life story and how he got to where he was, and he's, you know, talking about, like, oh man, like, I can't believe these dudes, are these dudes really that much better than me? I swear I got something. I'm saying some cool shit, you know? So you kind of getting that, like, that little, you know what I'm saying, the fighting against the odds spirit he's got going on. And then fucking Lupe, goddamn,
Yep.
floats in over the track, blesses it, and then bounces off.
Yeah, he's in and he's out, man.
Man.
You've got 3 star-studded features back to back to back. Adam Levine, Lupe Fiasco, and
then Jamie Foxx, right?
Jamie Foxx dating the track just a little bit,
Yeah, because
referencing the Ray movie.
I remember when it came out being like, oh, huh, all right, you got Jamie Foxx, like, literally to sing as, like, we know what he's singing as right now, right?
You
We know
could
the
have
friends
sampled
are-
Ray Charles, but instead you brought in Jamie Foxx to do a Ray Charles impression?
while the sample plays in the background.
It's so weird. You didn't have to do that. I guess because it's like, hey, Jamie's a friend. I'm going to give him a payday. Get on this album and at the same time kind of promote your movie.
And I remember, this is such an interesting, like, Tempest in a Teapot of a song, right? Because it's like, you know, it's addressing these lyrics about, like, you know, like, oh man, like the infamous lyric, you know, when he get on, he leave your ass for a white girl. I ain't saying she a gold digger, but she ain't messing with no broke niggas. You know, remember that we had talked a couple of years ago, like Nicki Minaj had brought up that lyric, and people were trying to spin it like, oh, Nicki Minaj puts Kanye on blast or something like that. But it was really her just saying, like, well, that song, like, spoke to a certain truth that a lot of black women feel about, like, you know, relationships where it's like, oh yeah, like I'll be with this guy in the struggle, but then, you know, you look at so many celebrity, like, famous black guys, and they're with a lot of, like, either really light-skinned or white women, you know what I'm saying? And so, like, you know, there's an aspect of him actually speaking to a certain, like, truth in a way where it's like, in this way where it doesn't feel like it's actively glorifying it, you know what I mean? Like, it feels like he's illustrating the reality of this, because, like, you know, it starts off sort of going through the perspective of, like, hey, I'm this guy, and, you know, I don't care what none of you guys say about how she had a baby with so-and-so, I still love her. And then kind of like, you know, oh, as the verse goes on, what, he had this kid for 18 years, and on the 18th birthday, he found out it wasn't his? Oh, like, the, you know, the plight of the man who's been cuckolded, you know, like, and that can feel a little awkward in saying, like, oh, are all women like this sort of thing? But then in the third verse, it gives you that sort of switch. You were at a restaurant, and you couldn't pay, so y'all couldn't leave, and there's dishes in the back, he had to roll up his sleeves, but then it says, like, but while you're watching, watch him. He gonna make it to a Benz out of that Datsun. He got that ambition, baby. Look at his eyes. And so it's like, yeah, believe in your man, because he's doing things in his, you know, with his life, and he's really gonna make it. And it's like, oh, but is he really gonna, you know, give a shit about you when he gets on? You know, like, bringing up these issues and having it in this mishmash thing where you have to, like, deal with the reality of this sexism and how it interplays in the reality of the world. You know what I mean? Like, in how it's framed in the lyrics. It's kind of interesting to me. That's the thing about Kanye West. I mean, he's got, like, DeRay Davis, who's like I think it was a Comic View staple. You know, like, he's got that sort of level of jokiness to a lot of his songs sometimes. And on a track like this, I think it was used to good effect to help illustrate the point of what's happening. You know what I'm saying? Because, yeah, that is such a line in the black community. Leave your ass for a white girl. You know, like, that's what we hear. And so for him saying it, like, him doing those mannerisms that are directly affiliated with these, like, jokes and references, that's what kind of, like, ingratiated him with the audience. You know what I'm saying? The fact that these smooth, silky beats, but he's saying these, like, kind of silly, joking things on it that are references to things. And whereas in some aspects, I absolutely love it when he does it, because it accents, like, you know, the point of the song. There are other songs on here, man, where the Kanye-isms just get too fucking stupid. Like, and I can't fucking take it. And I hear the production that he uses. That sounds fucking immaculate. It sounds beautiful. Certain tracks where you hear the plinking, beautiful, gorgeous keys and all this shit. And he's joking about like, if that girl doesn't like me, she must be gay. Like, are you fucking serious? You got Brandy singing on this track, trying to sound all epic and shit. And you're singing all these goddamn goofy ass lyrics. And it's just like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, do you not hear how good this sounds? Do you not hear how you're fucking this up? You know?
You mentioned Kanye in the references. There was a joke in Gold Digger that I never really caught until I was following the lyrics. And it's funny because I don't even think this was a thing by the time the song came out. But I'm looking for the one. Have you seen her? My psychic told me she'll have an ass like Serena, Trina, Jennifer Lopez, 4 kids, and I gotta take all they badass to Showbiz? Fucking Showbiz Pizza?
Oh, I was thinking specifically like, I gotta take them to the special events going on because, I want to be a good, I want to be the good stepdad,
Showbiz had the animatronic bear and the band. It was kind of like Chuck E. Cheese. Mm-hmm. But I don't think it was a thing by 2005. Like, I think they'd already closed all the Showbiz pizzas down. So it felt like such a
bit of an
random...
acronym.
Yeah, it's a really weird random reference for Kanye to bring up that it got, like, a genuine laugh out of me. Like, what the fuck? Bringing up Showbiz Pizza. Outside of that, yeah, I think... Heard him say, touch the sky, Gold Digger, fucking goddamn. Hit him and hit him and hit him and hit him and hit him. We're getting these fucking solid-ass features. Then you gotta bring Paul Wall into the mix.
I'ma say it, man.
You were feeling the Iceman Paul Wall!
Yeah, like, it reminded me how much he's actually, like, a solid groove of a rapper at certain times, and when he's allowed to, like, just rap over slower stuff, it works more, because when he got more famous, he started rapping over faster beats, and that's just not him, you know what I mean? And, like, he's really not saying shit in this verse, of course, but then when you hear the third guy who comes on, who's basically doing the same thing as Paul Wall, but with even less swagger, it's just like, okay, well, then I can actually appreciate what he was doing. You know what I mean? Like,
I actually appreciated GLC, whoever that is, more than Paul Wall. Yeah,
Paul Wall just had the presence, like, that he's allowed to have when the beat is going slower. You know what I'm saying? And also, I think I just have residual, like again, he's one of those guys. As soon as he got big, it was just like, I'm not really interested. But I always kind of had like that initial kind of like not like love for him, but just kind of like, oh yeah, he did that Still Tippin' joint, like that's a fucking Texas classic. So okay, he's always kind of have a little bit of credit just based on that alone, you know what I mean? And he fucked with Chameleon early before he got big, so it's kind of like that. He just kind of has that sort of like respect glean just from all of that, you know what I mean? And apparently he's actually a solid dude, like he's actually a cool guy.
Oh, okay. I thought it was interesting that this cut also was on Paul Wall's album.
Yeah, I saw that, and also he is a white rapper on today's show that does not use the N-word. So,
hey, look at that!
Got that going for him.
Can we talk about the skits?
Oh my lord, these motherfuckers really goddamn wore out their welcome, didn't they?
Goddamn, they thought this was the funniest goddamn thing.
Dude, DeRay Davis, who is, he's a name, but he's not like. He's not like the favorite like comic view guy I get. Like I would have gone for like an Avion Crockett, you know what I mean? Like, but it's like okay, and the joke is just this one note joke of, oh, we started this fraternity of broke brothers, broke five broke, and at first it's funny because it catches you off guard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I thought it was okay.
Yeah, broke five broke. We ain't got it, broke, five broke. We ain't got it. Like, that was sort of jokey. And then the way it ended very abruptly. Like, the first skit got me just from how it ended so abruptly with him going like, and if she wants to step out with the other dude, that's fine with me, because I'm not going to be able to pay for shit.
I thought it was weird that it came after Gold Digger, because it was like, okay, we're talking about, like, being broke. It felt like it would be before Gold Digger, but then it ends with, because I can't afford a car, and then it's like, we ain't driving. And then it goes into drive slow, so it's like, oh, it's because you said driving.
The joke of this album having like the we broke, and that's the joke of it. But then having the ultimate punchline be like, Kanye, come in here, you're rich, you've got too much money, get out of here.
Kanye's not broke.
It's just like, it doesn't really land. You know, it feels so much like a not as rich, C-tier comedian friend. I hired him to do some skits for me to ultimately play me up as the badass. You know what I mean? Like, it gives me that energy of, what was that one bit Dave Chappelle was talking about, where he's like, Snoop Dogg called me and he wanted me to do like a music video. And he's like, what do you want me to do for the music video? This is cool. Like, Snoop Dogg wants me to be in a video. This kicks ass. And he's like, well, you gonna be like this dude that, I walk in the club and I look all fresh and shit, but you walk in the club and you slip on some doo-doo and the doo-doo gets on your face and you look like a loser, and I just step off with my now and later gators on and looking all cool. It's like, why do I gotta be the guy who sniffs and doo-doo? But it's just like the very basic level of like showing the high status character and the low status character, like, oh, he's broke, so these guys are losers, and the ultimate joke being like, Kanye just has too much, like, it is really hard to make the butt of the joke be, oh, but I'm so rich, and get a laugh out of that. You gotta be Simpsons level writing to try to work that into a joke that actually works, because the only thing I'm ultimately thinking is, haha, I have more money than everyone else. Like, that's not a funny gag. That just makes people angry.
It feels like one of my favorite Lil Wayne cuts. I referenced it before. Thank God it was just a dream. God, I dreamt I was broke. Oh, I was in this fraternity of broke brothers.
Thank God it was just a dream.
But then I got money and they couldn't handle it. It's just like, it's so sour of like a joke to end on,
I thought it was funny. Someone actually tweeted in the week leading up to the review that who would have guessed that Kanye would have predicted Among Us?
There's an imposter among us.
See, there were bits of the skit that did make me laugh, but like I said, it fucking wears out its welcome. Like, it didn't need to be 4 times.
That's the thing. If it was just like the one time is the setup, and then later you get the punchline.
Right.
But then why is it that in the fourth one they bring Kanye in and it's not Kanye talking? Like, who is that?
Clearly him talking, the
himself.
talking to himself.
What the fuck?
So it doesn't
How
even
could
work?
you not get Kanye in the cut? Why?
Yeah, it was weird.
That would have been funny to hear Kanye be like, oh shit, okay, I guess
it
we'll
would have
just go over
actually made
here.
it more direct of him, like, actually feeling ashamed that he has money, like, I was just... I just got a couple grand from Jay-Z. I mean, it's just an advance. I mean, like...
The skits are bad.
You hate the
Meandering. I don't like the skits. You're right.
Man, we just talked about Common, too. And how Kanye likes to put Common on a cut. He gives him a song of his own.
Solo track. And, dude, this is the fucking Common that I was anticipating on that goddamn album.
Yeah. It's better than 90% of Resurrection.
Holy crap.
Like,
dude,
what the fuck?
If you just played this song and just said it was Resurrection, it would have been a better idea.
Yeah. I thought it was alright.
Just lie to me and say that this was your second album, because this does so much in like barely 2 minutes, like, than anything that happens in the Resurrection album, other than like the first 2 tracks or something like that. But yeah, I just couldn't believe it. Like, it had that moment of like, oh right, Common's okay, he is capable of shit. I wasn't just imagining this.
And then we get the Game on crack music. We got some conscious hip hop from Kanye.
I don't think he does the Game actually get a verse though?
I think he might do the hook.
Yeah, but I still appreciated like his the Game's input into the track, because when he just says like this that crack music nigga, that real black music nigga, like the way they both say it is so like just cuts into you with how they're saying it, you know what I mean? That it's just like, holy fuck. And then with the beat behind him that's so smooth with the la 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 la, it's very rolling, rotating sort of beat that like, it just sounds like this half-remembered melody of this song that like, you know what I mean? Like, it gives off that vibe of like, this sounds like some melody from some song that might actually be from like 2 other songs and I can't remember which one it was, so I'm just kind of singing the melody as it goes and you just hear the la 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 la. It was so fucking cool sounding when I heard it happening and unfolding, you know what I mean, for the first time.
And it's kind of got like that marching beat
under
it.
Yeah.
Ugh, that's such a strong cut.
And the fucking lyrics when he starts, I was like, so how we stop the Black Panthers? Ronald Reagan cooked up an answer, and then like right after that you hear the la 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 la. It just accentuates the fucking point, you know?
You just see Kanye giving like a look at the camera. There you go. We know.
Yeah, it's so in your face, man. Who gave Saddam anthrax? George Bush, I bet got the answers. La 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 la. You know, it just affects you so well, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shorty come home and see his mama straight overdosing, and it's the soundtrack. This is the type of music that you make when you round that. It's just like, it just hits you when the fucking dude who talks at the end, god damn. Oh my fucking god. Yeah, that's a fucking flawless victory of a track.
Then we got Roses. Another strong cut, I thought.
Yes, with the touches of Patti LaBelle and Bill Withers on the hook. Ooh, they're just like, they come in just like ever so slightly every now. Their vocals are just like fucking peppered. You know what I mean? Like you could tell they told her like, sing, don't sing too loud though. Just give them that low energy, but that still has that intensity to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, fucking Kanye comes in with lyrics. He's like, if Magic Johnson got a cure for AIDS and all them broke motherfuckers passed away, you telling me if my grandma's in the NBA right now, she'd be okay? But see, she was just a secretary, worked for the church for 35 years, shit's supposed to stop right here? It's just like, oh god. Just cuts you deep, man. And I'm just thinking like track after track, he is fucking batting these goddamn things out. You know what I mean?
I think this is where it kind of takes a little bit of a dip though for me, is with Bring Me Down and Addiction. Not the strongest cuts in my opinion.
I enjoyed Addiction enough, but yeah, Bring Me Down was like, again, a beautiful, glorious beat happening. And then what the fuck is he talking about?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I thought the beat on Addiction was dope too, but it's so fucking long.
Yeah, for what it is, yeah, and it's not worth it, yeah.
Some of these tracks, man, you could have cut these down. Like, Hey Mama, that could have been shorter. Like, I thought that was a very sweet track also, but it just goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
I'm just coming to terms that I just don't think I'm a fan of Brandy. Man.
Hater the Haitians from Hateville.
Heard her on the Tadra cut, wasn't really feeling it. Heard her on this cut, wasn't really feeling it. I don't know. It might just be me.
Heard her on the song with Monique, is like, fuck that.
See, that's the thing.
I don't understand this plot line. This makes no sense. Why are you fighting over one guy? As soon as you found out he's cheating on both of you, you should have just left it. What the fuck are you doing?
That's the thing. I didn't really grow up listening to the R&B too much, so I don't really have a lot of exposure to Brandy, Monica, and all that biz. Diamonds from Sierra Leone remix, though.
We gotta talk about this. Okay, so I remember first hearing this song and the fucking beat. You know what I'm saying? You hear that fucking diamonds off her. Oh shit, he sampled the 007. Oh,
so good.
Shit.
Yeah.
He makes it sound so epic. Oh shit! I'm all right. This is going on the fucking workout playlist. I'm feeling this shit. But hold on a second. We got a fucking verse for your ass. We're gonna be talking about some real shit in this song. This song's called Diamonds from Sierra Leone. But I'm actually gonna be talking about it. But here's the interesting thing: the original version that you hear later on the album, that was the first version where it didn't have Jay-Z, and it was just him kind of like bragging about Rock La Familia and just saying like, yeah, we're the shit and we're awesome. And what was those fucking lyrics where it's like, oh, if your stripper named Porsche and you got tips from many men, then your fat friend, her name is Minivan. It's like, oh, those Kanye-isms. And I remember first hearing the song and being like, okay, this is an epic sort of beat, but he's not really saying anything on it. Then Lupe Fiasco did a remix for his mixtape that he had done at the time, one of the first and 15th mixtapes. And he had remixed this song and made a song called Conflict Diamonds that had talked more about the actual like specifics of like, oh yeah, this is where these things come from and all that. And he laid it out so like exquisitely. And I remember hearing it because they played it on the radio. And it's like, holy shit, this is so fucking cool. Kanye's label mate, like the dude that I'm really more into, Louis Fiasco, he's putting out like remixing this shit. This is so cool. And then I remember there being like a period where like Kanye West was like, yeah, that was what I wanted to do the whole time. So he got him like for the remix of the song, and I remember there being like a short period where there was like his new verse where he had actually talked about some shit, but then I was never actually able to find it. And then later on, I had found this version that's now on the album where it's like the first verse and a half he's saying, oh man, armless children are responsible for, you know, the diamonds that we're rocking. We should think twice about that. And then by halfway through the verse, it's like, but anyways, Jay-Z's Rock La Familia will be around forever, and let's think about how awesome that is. And it's just like, but you brought up the armless children, and am I just supposed to not think about that now?
This remix and the original are fucking weird, and having them both on here is baffling.
Yeah. Because it's like, it's a weird admission that like, oh yeah, my original version didn't really address it, and now I finally did a remix that did, but I didn't really carry it all the way through, because if I did carry it all the way through, I would look really bad still wearing these diamond chains.
We get hit with a much inferior version, the original version later on, that you might as well have just scrapped entirely.
Basically.
So fucking... It's so amazing how you went from a song that was actually talking about some real shit to a song that is me, I'm the fucking shit, what the fuck, I'm not getting what I deserve, me. It's like, oh my fucking god! But what's really funny about the remix, too, it's just this line that's from the original where Kanye goes like, hey, you and Jay alright? And then Jay literally interrupts on this remix and just goes, yup! And then just, he takes over. And it's like, well, you've heard enough from Kanye. It's the Jay-Z show now. And he doesn't carry on talking about that real shit. It's still alright, but he definitely does take the song into a different direction. But when you hear the original version, you realize something that you weren't getting with the remix that I really didn't miss. How much more you hear of the forever, ever. I'm like, oh my god, he does it so fucking much on the original. You only get it about half as much on the remix, but it's like, oh my god, I do not need it that much. Stop it.
Little was known as Sierra Leone and how it connects to the diamonds we own. When I speak of diamonds in this song, I ain't talking about the ones that be glowing. I'm talking about Rockefeller, my home, my chain. These are, wait a minute. I thought you weren't talking about the diamonds. What? Now you're just talking about specific? Because like later on there's a lyric, and I feel like people try to bail him out. With one lyric that comes out a little awkward. People asking me is I'm gonna give my chain back. That'll be the same day I give the game back. And it's just like,
oh no.
What people are saying is that, oh, when he said that line, what he was referring to is Dame Dash and how like, oh, he's rocking with Jay-Z. He's not gonna give the chain back to that guy. And it's like, okay, but you started the song by talking about armless children, and then you said a line where you said, am I gonna give my chain back? Oh, never. You know, and it's just like, and as the verse goes on, he goes like, oh, you know the question, where Dame at? This track, the Indian dance, that's gonna bring our rain back. What's up with you and Jay, man? Are y'all okay, man? And yeah, that's when it starts going like, Jay-Z, I think I'm gonna come in and talk about how I'm a businessman, and
yeah, I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman.
Where he reassures that, Kanye, Jay-Z's out of retirement and he's ready to floss on these niggas once more. So don't worry, the Rock La Familia will be around forever with all the nameless artists that you'll still know and love, like no. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
So like the fact that they make it about like, oh man, kids are having to die for these conflict diamonds, but I'm not giving mine back because I'm loyal to this guy, because it's important for me to have my chain. It's like, well, yeah, this is probably the same fucking, wishy-washy excuses that everyone makes for why they should still have their diamonds after they learn about it, why it's fucked up. No, it's important for me to have this because, it's important to the market and to continue the, you know what I mean? Like,
then we got the 7.5 minute We Major.
Oh man.
It does not need to be that long. What the fuck are y'all doing?
And it's so like purposely trying to sound like, is that the one? Oh no, that's a later one. We Major. I can't even remember. The hook, yeah, it was kind of, I thought it was just the first verse, but then when he does I want to fuck in the book, when that repeats, I was just like, oh, did this need to get repeated?
Yeah, fucking really, though. Yeah, they play that way too many times. It fucking pads up a lot of the track, and you get a false ending at 5 minutes and 20 seconds where it fades out, and then Kanye is like, nah, bring that shit back in. And then he literally does nothing with it. Like, he rambles for a bit, he shouts out some people, and that's it. For like 2 minutes! Like, does nothing with it. Why bring the beat back if you're not even gonna, like, do another verse?
I don't know.
It felt like this is the last track on the album.
Yeah.
I gotta thank the people that helped me get here. Because it's basically what he does. Why would you do that when there's like 6 more songs left? I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know. He has a habit of doing this. Because in one of his albums, I think it was, what was the album with the song 30 Hours? It's like, oh, this is a song that you just write out to at the end where you like check your phone and shit and all this shit, you're just driving. And then there's like 5 more tracks left. I was like, well, we can't do that now because did you not see where you put this track? Like, what the fuck? Like, you could have put it at the end. Like, no one was stopping you from doing that.
I think this might be the worst track.
What?
Celebration?
Oh my lord. Again, the beat. Super silky beat. Just to, I guess, make you not think about the dumb shit he's saying on this track.
Look, I really like the beat and the instrumental, but see, you know my style. I'm very wild, and I vow that my child will be very well endowed, like his daddy. And tell him that your mama had a fatty. He looked up at me and said, "Daddy, that's the reason why you had me." Yep, we was practicing till one day your ass burst through the packaging. That shit sucks, Kanye!
What the
Get
fuck?
that shit! That's so fucking whack! No!
And then, what does it say afterwards? You know what, though? You're my favorite accident. So go ahead, pop some Cristal for my newborn. Get these fucking Drake's deadbeat dad lyrics out of here.
It's the only dead beat's the beat that anyway.
Stop it.
That was so fucking bad.
This is like, what are you doing? Like, your kids are gonna hear this, man.
And then, honestly, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I didn't really need most of the rest of the album. I thought Gone was okay.
Oh my god.
With Consequence and Cameron.
But it had that beat work that's so trying to be like, oh, respectable hip-hop because we're putting a bit of classical twist in it with the cellos. But it's so like that Spike Lee's dad orchestrating his movie music where the music is just too much and it feels like it's chewing up the scenery. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just so like weirdly epic for what Cameron is saying, which is like not that much. Like, it's not like you're saying some epic Ghostface Killer poetry shit, you know?
Yeah, it's funny. All 3 rappers have a different take on it. So you got the first verse. Cameron is rapping about an ex who's gone because she left.
Right.
Consequence is rapping about going away to jail, like, I'm gone.
But he keeps using gone, and I realized that, and I was like, what the fuck is he doing? Because at one point he goes like, oh, I rented Gone with the Wind, because like, he gone, but like, you didn't fucking rent Gone with the Wind. No, you didn't. You did not watch Gone with the Wind. That 4-hour-ass racist-ass movie. There's no way you just rented that in a hotel.
You know, Darren, there used to be a show.
Damn it. And with the gong, you was gone. Might as well just bring it
up. This is what I'm saying, though, that this was kind of a misstep. I went ahead, I bought Graduation after we reviewed it. I've got a copy of College Dropout. I've even got a copy of my beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. I'm not going to be picking up Late Registration. I don't think it's worth buying. It's got a couple really strong cuts up front and a few sprinkled throughout. But overall, I only came out with a 3.5.
I give it the 4. Because
Oh, I was just gonna say, no way, 5.
no.
No fucking way. Not with the skits, not with my baby's gonna have a big dick. Get that shit out of here.
I'm sorry. No, sir.
That alone is gonna take at least a point away.
But yeah, like there's solid enough material here, and there's enough like introspective stuff mixed with jokes that makes it a solid enough listen to me. But then like there's 1 or 2 tracks where it just spills over, and it's just like, now this is just about your ego and all the corny jokes you want to make, and this isn't as fun. But you're specifically doing it over this really silky beat, and it feels like you're kind of insulting the beat that you made in order to do this, you know? Like, he feels like one of those guys that, like, you need to... And I hate this because, like, it's not like he hasn't made good music on his own, right? Like, with his lyrics and all that stuff. But it really is that, like, RZA feeling I get where it's just like, you know how to make great music for other people. But when it's you just get in your own way with how you think you are just so goddamn funny with these references sometimes, you know?
But that about does it for this week's episode of Going Off. Big thanks to everyone who checked us out this week and the folks that requested the albums to be reviewed. If you want to request an album, you know those spots are limited, but we're still going to be taking a few more. Head on over to Ko-fi, that is ko-fi.com/goinoff. That's GOINOFF. All of our old episodes are on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and SoundCloud, so one of those is bound to work for you.
Yeah, I put a playlist of a whole bunch of the most recent episodes on my main YouTube page so people could, like,
nice.
have it right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm always trying to figure out, like, how the heck do I make it so that people can see it? You know what I mean? And yeah, so that's one way I've been doing things. So it's like, oh yeah, you can check out the new videos, and oh boom, there's the Going Off podcast and the Review a New Podcast, like, right next to each other, playlists, so you can just go through them at your leisure, you know?
We got a whole lot of stuff going on. You can support us on our individual Patreons, Ko-fis. There's lots of ways you can show your support. You can subscribe to us on YouTube.
Yes.
Follow us on Twitter. We got our link trees in the description, so you can find all of our socials, all our links.
That's
you can
right.
find out when Darren is streaming on Twitch, or when I've got a new YouTube video up, a new Riffcoms, new Riff Break, or when RC's got a new RC episode up. We're always doing shit, man. Don't miss out.
We on the grind out here. Don't miss it. Or come back a couple of weeks later when we've made more stuff, and then you can, like, dig through that stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
And then binge.
yeah, exactly.
As long as you get it eventually. That's all that matters, I guess. But until next week, for Going Off, I'm Muse.
I'm Rapcritic, and take a closer look, you scary motherfuckers. Don't my jack-o'-lantern look like your little brother? Pumpkins are for bitches. I like my shit instead, cause every devil's night we carve in somebody's head when my meat cleaver chops heads fall to the floor. Fuck buying pumpkins at the grocery store.